Hello, my name's Simon French and I'm the Chief Economist at Panmure Gordon, and today just going to talk about what recent European economic data means for international investors and specifically those in the US. So we've had, since the start of 2019, a fair amount of downbeat data from the European Union, the Eurozone more specifically. And part of that can be put down to single issues associated with the slowdown in the auto industry in Germany, political uncertainty in Italy and in the United Kingdom. But of course, international investors looking for European exposure will want to know whether there is something more long-tailed than just these sector-specific stories, and particularly whether the current concerns over the slowdown in global trade will disproportionately impact Europe. Because once you look at the breakdown of European GDP, you do find that the European Union is, amongst developed economies, the most sensitive to a slowdown in global trade volumes. Indeed, in the last couple of weeks, we've had growth data out of the European Union's biggest economy, Germany, and it's shown a stagnation in Q4 following a contraction in the Q3. And the component parts of that are not a slowdown, particularly in domestic demand, but particularly a slowdown in exports, the balance of payments, and particularly the auto industry. Very central to the German economy, but one that is acutely sensitive to not just the diesel-related stories and the emissions scandal that has racked the big German champions, particularly Volkswagen, but also a wider technological change that is going on in the auto industry. And we've seen in recent days joint ventures between Daimler and BMW looking to get on the front foot again regarding some of the new technology that will drive auto sales in the future. And sat in the background, particularly relevant for US investors, is the fact that the US Trade Representative, Robert Lighthizer, has produced a report for the President of the United States around the potential for auto tariffs on the European Union, citing security concerns. And I think this, when you're trying to sum up both the sector-specific story going on in Germany, but also the broader economic slowdown in Europe, you can't go too far away from whether the trade war that is currently going on between the US and China broadens to be US-European Union, and whether the tariffs that have been averted in the summer of 2018 following dialogue between the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker and President Donald Trump, whether they return to challenge investors in the first quarter of 2019. So collectively, international investors looking at the European Union marketplace have to make that calculation as to whether those particular sectoral challenges, slowing growth in Europe, is going to persist into the middle and the second part of 2019, or whether, as is our base case, there will be an element of pragmatism, an element of realization that the European Union is mean reverting following a very strong growth performance in 2017-2018. And actually what we do see is, out of the back of a challenging first quarter, some more steady growth re-emerging in the core of the European Union.